Hey all, here are OS Reviews. It's no secret that HTC has had a tough past few years, especially in the smartphone space, from being an OG and market share leader to now being virtually invisible, especially in North American markets. Despite that, HTC have released a pair of new TWS wireless buds, which are called the Emo1, and they are budget conscious, selling for around $50. Getting a pair that has active noise cancellation built on in, or ANC. These are IPX5 for water resistance, so you can wear them when showering, when going to the gym, and they will be sweat proof. So it's pretty crazy to see how the cost of these wireless buds have dropped so much. In terms of battery life, they claim to last for around 6 hours of continuous music listening for the buds themselves, or about 5 hours if you have active noise cancellation turned on, and then with the battery case combined, you get a total of around 22 hours when on the road. So this is just average, I'd say. For a budget pair of buds, they come with the standard Bluetooth 5.0 codecs such as SBC and AAC. Even claims that it's comfortable to wear if you are sleeping, but these aren't really being, I think, advertised as a sleep pair of buds like what Bose and Amazfit has. So despite that bullet point on the ad, I would still wear them during the day, and if you are maybe sitting on a bus or on a plane and you fall asleep, then sure, it can still be relatively comfortable, but if you're really lying down, just know that they don't really have quite as many dedicated sleep tracking features. Alright, so inside the box we have, of course, the Emo1 wireless buds themselves, which we'll take a closer look at, and other accessories include, in this documentation guide, there is a warranty card along with a pamphlet that tells you how to quickly get started and verify it's an authentic product, as well as check out the controls. So as aforementioned, you're able to play, pause the music, skip tracks, answer, reject phone calls, bring up the assistant, and go through the ANC effects, including a audio transparency mode just by clicking, but there is no raise the volume higher or lower. One other note here is the ANC, if you want to go through the effects, can only be triggered on the left bud. So if you're wearing the right one as a mono mode, that is something you have to factor into consideration. We'll also get some spare silicone tips to get a more snug fit, as well as a standard USB Type-C charging cable. A closer look at the battery case, it is indeed very compact, constructed out of a polycarbonate plastic material. Here it is next to something like Redmi's AirDots, so even a little bit shorter than those, which is impressive considering these have active noise cancellation, which usually results in slightly bulkier and larger buds, so very easy to slide into pockets and take with you when you're on the road. Here it is, in fact, next to a standard US quarter for reference. Now, taking a closer look here, we do have just a Type-C port for charging on the rear, and then some branding info located on the back, and that's pretty much it. We have some 3 LEDs on the front, which will tell you the status of if the buds are charging, and whenever you open up the door, the buds basically begin to turn on automatically, so there's a sensor located in the hinge that can turn them on a little bit faster, and when you close it, they also begin to charge the buds. We can see that on the left and the right sides, these 2 LEDs will indicate if those sides are charging, and then the middle here is just for telling you if there's still juice remaining in the case. So inside here we have, of course, the buds themselves, which are magnetic, pretty easy to pop in and then pop out again just to give it a quick charge. Taking a closer look at the design of these buds, they do have a slight stem, but a bit shorter than the aforementioned AirPods, constructed out of the same polycarbonate plastic that we have on the case, but feels pretty solid overall. The HTC section here is what's touch sensitive, and it felt pretty responsive as well when I was triggering different taps and testing it out earlier, so responded to my fingers really without too many issues. And then on the back, it does have a slight ergonomic tilt as well, so they felt snug and comfortable enough when it comes to listening to music for a few hours, and they're also very lightweight, but don't feel too loose, so if you do a little bit of jogging or running around, they still felt like they were staying in place. A little bit reminiscent of the Mifo 07s in terms of their shape, and again, the stem is much shorter than the regular AirPods. These are still simple buds at the end of the day, so they don't have a companion app, for example, and they're also lacking a low latency dedicated gaming mode. So these are still best suited for listening to music as well as for watching videos with. Moving into the audio quality and performance, I have to say I wasn't disappointed by the Emo1s, and HTC, although maybe not quite as well known in the audio space, have still managed to pack in overall a balanced and pretty impressive sounding pair of buds. Great mix of bass, but also not too overpowering. You can still enjoy the lower frequencies and the kicks of a drum beat, but at the same time, I found sufficient detail with mids and trebles when it came to instrumentals and vocals from a variety of genres, whether it's pop music, acoustic music, even classical, and for the most part, it was easy to get immersed. Overall, they're also quite clean, so even if you turn the volume all the way down when you're in the regular mode, that is, you really won't hear any hints of any static or hissing in the background, although I wouldn't say that they're necessarily audiophile grade or quite as good compared to the more expensive options in the market, notably from Sony or Bose. They might be just lacking a touch of detail in some of the trebles, but that's not to be really taken as a fair comparison because those buds are also going to be, let's say, 3 or 4 times the price that HTC is going for here. As for the active noise cancellation, I would say this part is just so-so. Like most budget buds, they do work and make a difference with it flicked on, and if you are nearby a computer fan or the engine sounds from a car or plane, it definitely helps mitigate some of those background noises, especially in the lower frequency. The effectiveness, I would say, is maybe 10 or 15% lower than what Bose or Sony has, but again, the price of these are more than just 15 or 20% lower than those other pairs, so you're still talking about a pretty good price to performance ratio. So that is more or less it as far as our quick hands-on review of the HTC-Emo1s. It's not really something that we haven't seen before, however, it's presented in an attractive package that's relatively well constructed, comfortable, offering decent sound quality, but I am still eager to see maybe HTC push the boundaries a little bit more. But with that being said, again, a solid pair of buds overall, and if you're interested, you can check out more details in the links down below. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. It's been HTC's pair of wireless buds, the Emo1.